Hey there, folks. Welcome to 3-Minute Thursday. I'm Ronnie Collins, and I'm the pastor of Out of the Box Worship Center in downtown Hillsville. We're a multi-site church of First United Methodist Church and Out of the Box Worship Center, and we also have Out of the Box Youth Center. 3-Minute Thursdays, I try to answer the questions that you have, so be sure and send me questions. I don't care what you ask, I'll try to answer it biblically. This week, the question came, how do you deal with those people who don't like you and say bad things about you and talk behind your back? Let me see if I can do that. First of all, let me say that I have been reading some great biographies. Charles Finney, Charles Spurgeon, John Wesley. I'm doing a series right now in our church called World Changers. Every one of those world changers had people who did not like them. They were jealous of them. They said ugly things about them. Some of them were physically hurt. Matter of fact, Finney and Wesley both were pelted with rocks, and many bad things were done to them, simply because people didn't like them for whatever reason. Even if you don't like somebody, you don't have the right to say ugly things about them. Jesus just didn't work that way. Proverbs chapter 25 says, if your enemy is hungry, give him something to eat. If your enemy is thirsty, give them something to drink. And in so doing, you will heap coals on their head. And you say, there you go, God's going to get them. If I'm nice to them, God will burn their heads up. Well, as a matter of fact, why in the world would God ever say, I'm going to burn them up with fire because you do something good to them? That was something that was good. If somebody had coals heaped on their head in that day and time, that was where they would carry the coals on their head to start the fires in their homes. So that was not a bad thing. God doesn't work that way. But God says if you do your part, if you feed the hungry, that even though it's your enemy, or give them something to drink even though it's your enemy, God will reward you. Folks, it's God's way. I tell the people in my ministry, you always have the right to be wrong, but you never have the right to be mean. Listen, folks, Jesus was mistreated. Jesus was misunderstood. People said bad things about him. As a matter of fact, they treated him worse than anybody in the history of our world by hanging him on a cross for his Christianity. Jesus said while he was hanging there, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. Listen, folks, when people are mean towards you, say ugly things about you, it's usually because they're jealous of something. There's something bothering them. They don't understand how to come to you and say what needs to be said rather than going behind your back. We need to be mindful of that and pray for them, because as Christians, folks, we don't have the right to respond in an ugly way to someone who's ugly to us, or in a hurtful way to someone who is hurtful to us. We're to respond like Christ would. That's the open and shut case. So pray for those who don't like you. Do good to those who spitefully use you. Be Jesus to them, and God will reward you. Hope you have an awesome day. Send me your questions. See you next week.